I'd like to thank everybody here today. There's 10 of us in the chamber for a very constructive debate, and one that's looked into the corners and looked at the history of fluoridation and the ongoing checks and balances that have been carried out. Well done to Brian Stanley for bringing forward the bill. The Minister's speech was comprehensive, as I would expect from his standpoint, and Deputy Cowan's contribution reflects the work done by his associates over the years in the best endeavour sense. But I think we've all benefited greatly from the contributions of the opposition TDs here today and the technical group. I'm only one of the others here, but they've had some thought-provoking questions raised, observations articulated, and cautionary advice. And mixing it all together, one thing that struck me is we've to avoid the temptation of having political undertones. You know, it can be useful provided it's not exaggerated to say, the Labour Party chief whip had views and expressed them at a certain point. So did Fine Gael at a certain point. Now these are political positionings and all the rest, and they're understandable. But we're here on the thing. There are three things that we as human beings enjoy as we live, in the spirit of our lives. The breath, that's a Latin word, spiritus, breath. We breathe. The air, the water, and air, water, and what is the third element that we all use? Pardon? Yeah. But they're common things. We're concerned when the air gets polluted and buses and cars put lead into the air. Go back, even the delivery of water, public water, it came through the plumbing system. Lead. All the pipes were lead. People were doing their best in those times. And then insights and science and knowledge showed them that the reason why in Pompeii people were getting a bit giddy, lightheaded, or couldn't remember what they were doing before the volcano, because there's so much lead in the pipework. Now, as Deputy Murphy said, the photos of the 1950s show the gaps in the teeth, the rotten teeth, and all that. But the other thing that you notice too is the bright eyes, where people were maybe happier in their relationships, even though they had distress, economic distress in their lives. So, we can observe that too, but that's another debate. But, the questions raised at the end there by Deputy McGrath were good ones. Why have some places stopped doing this? We could be putting vitamin D into something that we take each day, water. We all need vitamin D. We don't get enough in this country because of sunshine, except for this year. Yeah, exactly. 2013, the summer of sunshine. But apart from that, that's the reason why there are other deficiencies in our physical, well-being. So we don't put vitamin D in the water, but it's there in the shelves. If people want to take their cod liver oil, it's there. In fact, in the Soviet systems, command-controlled economies, every primary school child had to take in lineup cod liver oil. Isn't that interesting? So, it brings in the ethical question of, are we force ingesting things? So I think it is a useful debate, and I think this Friday has been very enlightening. And there are old habits. It's easy. I mean, I understand, Minister, you get all the information, and you've done the homework, and you're presenting it honestly and openly. But Deputy Stanley also is, using the work of previous Dáil members, preliminary work on this, and bringing it forward. So we're not trying to sort of jostle in the queue for the press release or the television camera. That's not the business. We're here to serve as best we can. Bring our knowledge, our skills, and our insights to organise how the public receives the things that the public enterprise and the civil service and the semi-state bodies deliver to citizens. So I actually think that one of the good outcomes of this debate could be that we actually do have a fresh update. Let's do not just the surface dentistry, to use the analogy or the metaphor, let's do a bit of root canal work on this. A bit of endentry. But no, I do. So, joking apart, I think really though, it maybe is time to double question this. We at home have our water filter that was raised a minute ago. I think everybody needs it actually, water filter, because if you look at the porous porcelain through which the water flows to be delivered in the smaller tap from the ingress tap, it gets filthy. I'm the guy who does it at home. I do drains, I do the plumbing at home. So I know. And you have to scrub it clean with wire thing every 4 weeks or so. So you can see the sediment, which isn't visible to the eye, but it accumulates like a fur on that porcelain filter. And I'd suggest for those who can afford it after paying their property tax that they buy one of these things, because it will help to eliminate the impurities. But I think what Deputy O'Sullivan said is important too. Fluoride is a cocktail of elements. Bit of mercury, bit of lead. Well, we know and heard about lead. So yeah, I think let's all agree that we all have made helpful contributions to this, and rather than just words, they disappear, they evaporate, they're no longer heard, they don't even resonate because something else comes into our heads. Let's not put it on bits of paper that get filed in lever arch files. Let's say, okay, let's get the best sort of forensic medical people to have a look at this and be honest about it. Maybe we don't need it anymore. And let's break what Deputy O'Sullivan said is the habit of 1963 to 2013 is about 50 years, half a century. It's a habit. It was done with best endeavours and best intentions. But like lead of the Roman times, and even of our more modern times, I used to worry that the mains, the pipe from the mains outside our house into the house could still be lead. When I get forgetful, I worry about all these things. So, let's just take it forward, Minister. I'd say, let's compromise. Let's not shoot this down. Let's actually have a compromise and say, okay, we'll have an update study with a view to probably taking it out of the water supply. That would be my suggestion.
Thank you, Deputy.